In trigonometry, you will start off with what are the basic definitions, and especially in a right angle triangle, and obviously that is on the Cartesian plane. Now, by now, you should be quite familiar with the right angle. And important when it comes to the right angle triangle is about we have an angle. In this case, we talk about theta, can be alpha, can be beta. Remember, it just represents the name of the angle. So we have the angle theta there, and according to where theta is, we will have three sides of the triangle. Now you know that the first side you need to recognize is your hypotenuse side, which I would like you to refer to the R value. And how do we do that? That is the side right opposite your 90 degrees. Right? So that is the first side. What do you know about the hypotenuse side? Is that is the longest side in any right angle triangle. Right? So opposite the 90 degrees, the side opposite that, that is your hypotenuse side. But more important, we refer to it as R. Then your other two sides, depending on where the angle is, you can see here's the angle and the side next to it. That is where the word comes adjacent. What does adjacent mean? It means the side next to the angle. So you can see we know that side is hypotenuse. So the other side next to the angle is adjacent. Adjacent we normally refer to the x side. And then lastly, the side opposite the 90 degree. Can you see how easy it is, guys? We refer to it as the opposite side, and in this case, in terms of y. Why I want you to get used to the x, y, and r, because you know in any right angle triangle, you work with the theorem of Pythagoras. And remember, what is the theorem? Is that x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. What about the ratios? I think you know the ratios by now. You have 6, but more important, 3 is the most common ones, right? But I'm going to the others as well. I'm referring to the reciprocals. So your first ratio is sine theta. And what is sine? We refer to it as opposite over hypotenuse. But important learners, please, something you will get used to. It's going to help you a lot. So sine we refer to as y over r. For cos, cos means the adjacent side over hypotenuse. And remember what is adjacent? It's x over r. And then lastly, we will have tan theta. What is tan? Tan is opposite over adjacent, but more important, we refer to as y over x. So these three, whenever I'm going to say sine theta, you must try to say y over r. If I say cos, x over r. Tan, y over x. And as we go on, you will understand why I would like you to put emphasis on that. And you know, obviously, one way of remembering or knowing your trig ratios is when you say it by SOHCAHTOA. Remember SOHCAHTOA? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan is opposite over adjacent. So the trigonometric song is SOHCAHTOA. And SOHCAHTOA refer to your three basic trig ratios in trigonometry. What we're also going to do today is we're going to use a bit of a calculator work. And as you know, in some cases, you must use a calculator. And in some of the sums, it's not compulsory. And irrespective of the calculator you have, I know there are a lot of different models. Make sure that you make yourself or familiarize yourself with the same calculator. Right? It doesn't mean if you have a Casio now in the exam, all of a sudden you're going to work with a Sharp. Each calculator can do the same thing, but it has different features or ways to get to the answer. Then our trig ratios, the reciprocals, that's also what I would like you to understand, is that we know sine is y over r. And remember, guys, that is what I ask you to remember. Whenever I say sine theta, you say y over r. Now, what is the reciprocal of sine? The reciprocal or the ratio is cosec theta. Now, as the word said, reciprocal, the inverse of it. So if I say sine is y over r, then cosec is r over y. Now, can you see why I'm saying try to know it as y over r, x over r? It's going to help you. All that you need to know, whenever I say sine, you must know the reciprocal is cosec. Remember, if I say sine, what do you say? Y over r. So sine means reciprocal is cosec. And if sine is y over r, then cosec is r over y. And those are the small things that you must try to remember. Cos, remember I said, is x over r. What is the reciprocal of cos? It is sec theta. Now, if cos is x over r, what is sec? Yes, you can shout if you want to. Sir, sec is r over x. And then our third one is if we say tan theta. What is tan theta? We know tan theta is y over x. The reciprocal of tan is cot. So if tan is y over x, cot is x over y. You with me, grade 10s? Try to get this picture that you see in front of you. Know it off by heart. Write it colorful. Put it on the wall. Put it on your roof. Whenever you look at it, know this out of your head. Also, another way or ways I can write reciprocals, we said sine is cosec, but we can also write it as 1 over sine theta. Right? There are in grade 11, you will do more identities and more proof. Then you will be able to see that cosec can be written as 1 over sine theta. There's a way to prove it. Your other one, cos, is x over r. What is a reciprocal? It is sec, which is r over x, which means sec we can also write as 1 over cos. Then our third one, obviously, we said it's tan, which is y over x. What is the reciprocal of tan? It is cot. So if tan is y over x, cot is x over y. And therefore, we can write cot as 1 over tan. Okay, learners, that is just to give you a brief outline on some of the important factors in trigonometry. Those are the information, the facts you need to know it off by heart. And with that knowledge, now we can take on the sums. Let's go straight to our sums. I have a question here that says, a right-angled triangle has sides ABC. So there's my right-angled triangle. That's 90 degrees. Its sides A, B, and C. Then it also has the angle theta, which is shown below. Now, using that, we have to write down certain answers. Now, I said, if you know if that is theta, what is the first thing I said you must do? Identify where is your hypotenuse side. There's 90 degrees, so that's hypotenuse. So remember, what is hypotenuse? We refer to as R. Then the side next to the angle, adjacent. What is adjacent? Remember I said X. And then lastly, that is the side opposite, that we refer to as Y. Now you see, grade 10s, if we know this, use your sketch, write the information in there, and then you will see the questions that follows we would be able to write down immediately. Let's look at the questions. Write down the following in terms of A, B, and C. What is cos theta? So you're just going to say, sir, come, that is too basic. If you have the answer, guys, send it to me. So you're going to say, what is cos theta? What do we know what is cos? Cos is x over r, correct? So if cos is x over r, what is x? It is b. Because they ask you to write in terms of A, B, and C. So the answer must have that combination. So if cos is x over r, x is b. And what is r? R is equal to C. And that is all that we need to write down. Let's look at the second one, B. B, they ask us, what is tan of theta? I see, you should say now, sir, tan not a problem. Tan is y over x. Now let's see, what is y? Y is A. What is x? X is B. Right? So you can see it's quite basic if you just need to know your information. And then lastly, C, they ask you, what is the sine of 90 degrees minus theta? Now, this you're going to do more in detail, grade 10s. More in detail once you're going to get to grade 11. Right? This is what we call a reduction formula. Now, in a reduction formula, sine 90, which is your first quadrant, sine becomes the cos of theta. I said, yes, it's going to take some time if I have to go through the whole process on how the reduction formula works. But like I've mentioned, it will be dealt with more in detail. So if we say cos of theta, can you see that cos is exactly what we have over there? And cos was B over C, so in this case, it's B over C. So as you can see, if you have to work this information, know your basics about X, Y, and R, and then you can see you'll be able to write down your answers. Let's look at 1.1.2. There's a question that says, if it is given that A is equal to 5, in other words, that is A, that is 5, and theta is 50 degrees. Can we write down? That is 50 degrees. Calculate the numerical value of B. Right? Now here you have to be very smart people, extremely smart. Well, I'm saying that you need to, with the information that they give you and the information that you need to calculate, you need to write down a trig ratio. Now you see, let's just look at this. That is your angle, that is X, and that is Y. So the two trig ratios, or should I say the sides you work with, is X and Y. Now if you work with X and Y, which trig ratio deals with X and Y? You can immediately say, sir, it is tan. So if I have to write that down, so you're going to say it's X, or should we say A over B, which is opposite over adjacent, right? Let me just write that for you. 1.1.2, opposite A over B, adjacent. What do we write down there? What is the trig ratio? Opposite over adjacent will be the tan of theta. Now I know you're going to say, sir, but there are quite other few trig ratios. But remember, you work with a trig ratio according to the information. So they talk about A, what is given. You need to work out B, and they give you the angle. And therefore, we have to use that. But remember, they ask us for B. So we can make B the subject of the formula. So if you put that over 1, we cross multiply. We will have B tan theta is equal to A. And if I want B, I'm going to say B is equal to A divided by tan theta. Right? An equation, we have to balance the equations. And I'm going to come to sums like that. Now it is just calculator, or should I say, put that in the numerical values. What is A? A is 5 over tan. What is theta? Which is 50 degrees. So if you have that, I see we have Michaela, active. Michaela, can you send me the answer? Right? I think we know how to work the calculator by now. So if we have 5 over tan 50, remember all that we have to do. In the calculator, we have a feature of a fraction. So on top, we have 5. At the bottom, we have tan of 50 degrees. Right? Make sure you close the bracket. And if you press the equal to sign, you will see the answer is given as 4,19549, and I can go on. But it's always advisable. They sometimes will tell you one decimal place or two decimal places. If not, then it's always safe to go for two decimal places. That is the most common instruction. So if it's 2, you always look at your third digit. If it's 5 and more, then you have to add 1 to 19. So if I add 1 to 19, it becomes 4,20. You with me? I have just a question here. Thank you, Michaela. I'm asking, Michaela, Kosik, and Sik, not everybody would like to examine on those trig ratios, but it's always advisable, especially if you want to go study further one day. Depending on your school and your teacher, sometimes they can give it, for more enrichment. That's why the book that you received from the department, the notes on today's lesson, do you see there's also reciprocals in there, right? But it's all about your teacher that wants to, if they want to enrichment, but it's not a compulsory question. It's a possibility, but your teacher can work with you. Then we also have Danielle that asks, Danielle, unfortunately, those trig ratios, it's only possible if you have a right angle triangle, right? If it's not, you cannot implement sine, cos, and tan. There are other rules, and that more in detail in grade 11. But for grade 10, when it comes to any right angle triangle, that is the key word, then you can write down your reciprocals. Thank you very much, guys. I like your, was it Rosendahl? Welcome, guys. And Atlantis, welcome to all of you. And please ask questions, but also give me some answers. Let's go back to our sums. We have here another sum where we're going to use now calculator work. Seeing that we in with calculator, please give me to help me so that we can get some answers. It says here, given that angle A is 38,2 and angle B is 146,4 degrees, calculate the value of 2 cosec A plus cos 3B. Now remember, we just talk about where they give you angles and we have to substitute. Substitution just need to take place. So what it means here, I just have to say wherever I have A, so I have 2 cosec. What is A? A is 38,2 degrees, right? Then we have plus cos 3, and what is B? B is 146,4 degrees. Now, please, learners, please be careful when you have to use your calculator, right? It is basic calculator work, but the calculator is, this little tool is, if you don't punch in properly, according to the mathematical calculation, you can get different answers. Now, before we get to that, we don't have cosec on the calculator. We only have sine, cos, and tan. So if I want cosec, remember what I said. How can we write cosec as a reciprocal? Cosec goes with 1 over sine. Now, if I just have to write that into another form, we can write it as 2 times cosec, then becomes 1 over sine of 38,2 degrees. You see? Remember, cosec means 1 over sine, and then we have plus. This means 3 times that value. So if you want to write it down into another form, it means 3 must be multiplied with 146,4 degrees. Yes, I know you might work out this, and you want to work out this, and then add the two answers. It is advisable to do it in one go, right? It is advisable because what is quite important here, if you're going to make a rounding off error mistake. Now let's go again to the calculator and see if we can punch in this, right? There's our sum. So in the calculator, yes, we're going to say 2 times. Can you see exactly what we have there? We have a fraction, which is 1 on top, and at the bottom we have sine of 38.2. We close the bracket, right? We go right, then we have plus. Then you see we have cos, and next to cos we have 3 times 146.4, close the bracket. So you see, if you do it in one go, you just press that and you're equal to sign. And then if I want 2 decimal places, so the calculator says 3,42149, and we can go on. If I want 2 decimal places, remember, if your third digit is less than 5, so we will just write it as 3,42. Okay. Right, guys, let's go straight into more sums. Equations. Now, in maths, you are so used to working with equations. The meaning of equation is you have something on the left side, something on the right side. You need to balance it. And I know some teachers will tell you, take it over to the other side. But in actual fact, if you want to balance, you have to get rid of what you do on the one side in maths, you do on the other side. So let's see if we can balance our equations in order to get to our answers. Right, let's look at the first sum. The first sum we have there is, or they say, solve for x correct to 2 decimal places in each of the following equations where x is greater or equal than 0 or less or equal than 90. Now we need to understand, what does this mean? This means that inequality says my x values must be between 0 and 90 degrees. It must be an acute angle. So you see, it directs you in what your answers should look like. So you cannot have an answer less than 0 or more than 90. It must be in that range. Now, if I need to work on this, let's look at the first one. 5.2.1. We have there tan x is equal to 2,22. Remember what I said? If I want x, I don't want the other things with x. Now, the one skill also, what is important, if I want to get rid of tan, I have to divide by tan here, and I have to divide by tan there. But for you maybe to remember it easier is that if I want to get rid of the tan, it becomes tan to the power minus 1 of 2,22. Now, if I had cos here, it would have come or become cos to the power minus 1. If I have sine here, sine to the power of minus 1. It's a whole explanation. Yes, if you divide, when you work with exponents, if we have 1 over x, then we can write that as x to the power minus 1. So are you with me? So if I have to get rid of tan, I divide here both by tan. And if I have 1 over tan, can you see how this works? So that becomes now tan to the power of minus 1. So it's just a definition or to show you how we got to that. And from there, back to our calculator. Remember, how do we get tan to the power of minus 1? It's a second function, right? Tan to the power minus 1 is there in yellow. So if I want that, I'm going to say shift tan, and then we have 2.22, close the bracket. And my answer in that case is that x is therefore 65, what did it say? 2 decimal places, then it's 7.5 degrees, right? So you can see that the answer makes sense. It must be between 0 and 90, and that is how we know it is correct. In the second one, we have, let's just get another color. The second one, we have 5.2.2. we have there 2 sine x plus 15 degrees is equal to 1,462. Right? One at a time. First thing, we get rid of 2. So if I want to balance, this is what I mean. I divide by 2 here, and I divide by 2. You see, you balance your equation. What you do on the one side, you do on the other. So that happens, right? And then we'll have sine x plus 15, right? Gives me, there we can go to the calculator and say 1.462 divide by 2 equals, and that's going to give me 0.731. Look at the situation. Sine, what happened to 10? 10 to the power minus 1. So I keep the x plus 15 degrees, and that's going to give me sine to the power minus 1 of 0.731. Right? You can go to the calculator. So x plus 15 degrees equals, let's see, shift and sine of 0.731. That's going to give me 46. We see 46,97. Right? That's 46,97. Now, if I want x, how will I get x? I'm going to say balance again, grade 10s. If I don't want to the plus 15, the additive inverse is minus 15. But if I balance, what I do on the one side, I do on the other side. And therefore, you can see that will cancel. So your x value will be 32,48. Again, it makes sense. Why? It's between 0 and 90. Come, guys, I need you to be more involved. Carlton, Daniel, Michaela, send me some answers. Let me see if you can, or if you do understand the concept of the sums. Then our third one, 5.2.3, we have sine x over 0,2 minus 2 equals 1,24. Right, if I balance, what am I to get rid of minus 2? We add to the side, we add 2 on that side. Right? So if I add 2 here, that will cancel, which I will sit now with sine x over 0,2. If I add 2 there, right? Remember, so I've added 2 there, I added 2 there. That's going to give me 3,24. Right? What is the opposite or the inverse of divide by 0,2? We multiply. So we multiply by 0,2 here, and we multiply by 0,2. So you see, it will cancel. So that will give me sine x is, and 3,24, if we multiply by 0,2, we will get 0,648. And therefore, x will be, again, sine to the power minus 1 of 0,648. And therefore, my x value will be 40,39 degrees. Oh, I like what I see now. Thank you, Michaela, Monique, Demi. Just check again your answer to make sure. Cassie Lee, perfect answers. Maybe just a typing error, Demi. Just check, and then obviously you can send the correct answers. Guys, thank you very much. I like what I see, right? But please continue. Then our last sum that we're going to deal with, 5,24, we have 5 cos x is equal to 3. Remember, balance. Divide by 5 here, divide by 5 there. You see, we balance it. So now we have cos x equals 3 comma 5, or 3 over 5. Again, what happened to cos? Cos becomes cos to the power minus 1 of 3 over 5. And there, Michaela said, sir, my answer, x is 53,13. And for your answer, Michaela, full marks, right? Brilliant. So as you can see, grade 10s, your calculator is not bad. The calculator works. But remember, as you go step by step, make sure that you understand the balance of the left versus the right side. And the most important thing there, you will see you will work with the trig ratios. So to balance your trig ratio, sine becomes sine to the power minus 1. Cos becomes cos to the power minus 1. Tan becomes tan to the power minus 1. And if you have that and you know how to balance, see how the wonderful answers it's coming. Right? Thank you. Yes, Danielle, I know 5.2, it is in the book. It's just one of the other sums. If you go through all the notes, remember you got quite a massive amount of sums. I just wanted the extra one just to give you an idea of all your trig ratios. But thanks for the comment, right? It is somewhere in the book. Then next, let's have a look at a last PowerPoint presentation. And this PowerPoint presentation is going to deal with special angles. Now, as you know, we have quite a few special angles, right? I'm referring to 0, 30, 45, 60, and 90. And this is a question where they say, calculate without the use of the calculator, because these special angles, it all has special values, right? That is the one triangle. I know some explain about the triangle and some use the Cartesian plane, right? So we have the triangle with a 60, right? The 60 and your 30. That's your two special angles there. And we have values 1, 2, square root 3, right? So if we talk about, for instance, what is the cos of 60? Remember, that is the angle now. What is cos? X over R, adjacent over hypotenuse. And you agree with me, so half, right? What about the cos of 30? Now here you just have to be careful. There's your angle. Remember, hypotenuse stays the same. But now, according to 30, square root 3 is your adjacent side, or x. And 1 is your opposite side, or y. So what is cos? X over r, or adjacent over hypotenuse. And you agree with me, 3 over 2. Right? And if I have tan 30, what is tan? Opposite over adjacent, or y over x. It gives me 1 over square root 3. Now, how we will know, and guys, be careful. Yes, you're going to say, sir, but we can do this on the calculator. Yes, you can. Some of the values will be exactly the same, so you can use it to verify. But be careful. If you go and punch in your calculator tan of 30, you're going to get an answer of square root 3 over 3. So that's why I'm saying, try not to use the calculator only if you want to verify. But you need to have this understanding that I need to know my trig ratios according to my values. Virgil, let's look at this triangle. Then maybe this will help you. I have 45 there, Virgil, and I have 45 there. 1, 1, and square root 2. Okay, Virgil, you can shout, what is my hypotenuse side? That is opposite the 90. So you're going to say, sir, opposite, or my hypotenuse side is square root 2. What is the hypotenuse side? It is r. Now, if I take 45, this 45, this side is next to it, adjacent. So what is adjacent? Is x. So if that is x, Virgil, that is r, then that must be y. Now you can give me the first answer. What is the cos of 45? Remember, what is cos? Cos is x over r. Or should I say, adjacent over hypotenuse. So I can see, he says, sir, oh, now I can see is 1 over square root 2, right? If I give you another one, what about sine 45? Again, there's the angle. What is sine? Opposite over hypotenuse, or y over r. Again, 1 over square root 2. And if I give you another one, and I say, okay, what about tan 45? You're going to say, there's my degrees. Tan is opposite over adjacent, or x over y, which is 1 over 1, and that gives me 1. So learners, these are the triangles. You need to know it. Again, like I said with the trig ratios, make nice colorful pictures. Paste it in your room. Paste it in the kitchen, wherever. The more you're going to look at it, the more you're going to start to memorize it. Once you know these triangles, they can give you any sum. Let's have a look at a sum, just to prove to you. I have a sum here that says simplify fully without, you see there? Without the use of the calculator. Now, again, I'm saying, just avoid for saying, sir, I'm going to cheat, I'm going to put this in the calculator, and then it means I can get the answers. Don't go that route. Know your triangles. You see what I have? I have my triangles. I have my triangles. So if I work now, let's look at the first one. If I work with 45, right? Let me get my triangle of the 45 degrees. You see that? So if I have the sine of 45, there's 45. So what is sine? It's y over r, or opposite over hypotenuse. So sine 45 is going to be 1 over square root 2. 1 mark for you. Come on, guys. We can do this. Then we have tan squared 30. Right? Where's my 60. Where's my 60 degrees? There we go. That's my 60. Now, if I say tan 60, what is tan? Opposite over adjacent. Y over x. Are you with me? Right? Are you tan of 60? Let's look at it, guys. Opposite over adjacent, y over x. So now I'm going to say that is square root 3 over 1. But remember, you have to square that value. Then at the bottom, we're back with the 45 degrees. Cos of 45, what is cos? X over r. So that means it's 1 over square root 2. And now it comes with your mathematical skills. So, we know 1 over square root 2, 1 over square root 2 can cancel. Square root 3 over 1 is the same as square root 3 squared. If we have to square a root number, we write it as square root 3 times square root 3. And if you square any root number, your answer is what you have under the root sign. And this, again, you can verify with your calculator. And just to make sure that you're on the right track, you can punch this whole thing in your calculator to see if you get the correct answer. But please, grade 10, don't punch this in your calculator, ignore all this, and just give the final answer. You are going to get 0 because it specifically say without, right? Then our next sum, let's do another one quickly. Sine 60, right? Where's our 60 degrees? What is sine? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Y over r. So for sine, we have square root 3 over 2. Tan of 30. Now just see here. 30 is over there. So that is still hypotenuse. But what is this now? If this is the angle, that is adjacent, or x. And then that is opposite. So tan means y over x. opposite over adjacent. So that gives me 1 over square root 3. And then we have the sec of 45. Now, just another thing, sec, remember sec we said is 1 over cos. So it's the same as 1 sec is the same as 1 over cos 45 degrees. And what is the cos of 45 degrees? We can say it's 1 over, cos of 45 is 1 over square root 2. So now it just, do I know my math skills, right? Square root 3 will cancel. On top, we have a half. At the bottom, if I look at this, what does that mean in maths? It means 1 over 1 divided by 1 over square root 2. And you know, if you divide fractions, it's 1 over 1 times, we invert that, it's square root 2 over 1. So you see, that we're going to multiply with square root 2 over 1. Are you with me? And now we can just work out the answer. And it means on top we have square root 2, 1 times square root 2. And at the bottom we will have 2. Okay? Are you with me there, guys? So just remember, these are just the things that we need to understand. Leave your answer as is. Then we just need to move on a question that deals with, solving triangles, right? A question that solves triangles. Let's just start with this one first, where it says, in this diagram, we have point P, minus 5 and 12, right? In the Cartesian plane, second quadrant, we know what is the meaning of the minus 5. It represents x, 12 represents y. So what do we need to do in this case? We have to say, or they ask you determine cos of x. But remember, what is the cos of x? X over r. But seeing that we don't have r, we have x, which is right here. We're going to say my x value is minus 5. My y value is 12. So how will I get x? I'm sorry, r. Pythagoras says r squared equals x squared plus y squared. X is minus 5 squared. Y is 12 squared. Right? You agree with me? That's 25. That's 144. That's 169 if we add them. So r is therefore the square root of 169. R is then 13. Now, if I need to write down now or calculate the answers, all that we can see now, what is cos of x? Cos is x over r. Can you see how important this is, grade 10s? So if you have x over r, what is x? X is minus 5. What is r? 13. Voila! There we have the answer. Okay? The second one, cosec square theta plus 1. Now remember, what is cosec? Cosec means what is the reciprocal of sine. Remember, cosec is a reciprocal of sine. If sine is y over r, what is cosec? It is r over y. So it's r over y squared plus 1. What is r? R is, we've worked it out here, it's 13. So we have 13. What is y? Y is equal to 12 squared plus 1. So we have to square both sides on top and at the bottom. So that's 169 over 144. And we know 1. 1 means 144 over 144. Right? And therefore that, if we add the two, 169 plus 144, we will get 313 over 144. Now, please, you can leave this, right? You can leave it as is, or you can write it as a mixed fraction. But for you, this will be good enough. So just again to reflect on this, they give you x, y. You need to calculate r using Pythagoras. And if we have r and we have x, y, and r, all that you need to know is write down what's the meaning of cos. Cos is x over r. What is x? Minus 5. What is r? 13. And in your second sum, cosec is the reciprocal of sine. So if sine is y over r, cosec is r over y. What is r? 13. What is y? 12. We have to square that. 169 over 144. Remember, you can use your calculator here, right? We add 1 to that, and it gives me 313 over 144, right? And in the last one, guys, that we need to work with is that if we look at this sum on the planes, right? If we look at this, just get this quickly away here, right? Right, we have about a few minutes. I hope I can finish this. If I'm not, let's see how far we can get. This is also where you need to know your trig ratios quite well. It says an aeroplane is flying on this side, right? J is flying this way. It flies over point D and it's flying towards K. So the distance from J to D is 5 kilometers. That is 8 degrees. So you see, you need to understand your trig ratios. Can you see they have my right angle triangles? And you know, in maths, parallel lines. What is parallel lines? Pairs of angles. A bit of geometry coming in here. So if you look at the sums, what they ask, for instance, here they ask, write down the size of angle JKS, this angle here. Now you see, if you know your geometry well, you can immediately say that is also 8 degrees, right? So that JK is 8 degrees. It's alternate angles, right? Alternate angles. Then they say calculate the distance DK correct to the nearest meter. Now, let me just explain this one sum for you. Now remember I said we're using this triangle here. Let's just see. Ignore all the others. Just look at this. There's 8 degrees. There is 5K. And we need to calculate this. Now come grade 10s. You can't say that I don't know this. If I need to calculate DK according to my angle, I'm working with 8, with 5, and with DK. So we have 5, which is opposite, or Y, and DK, which is adjacent, or X. So Y over X, Y over X, what does it mean? It's a tan of 8 degrees. So I'm going to say yes, that the tan of 8 degrees means 5 over DK, right? Which we need to calculate. Now it's again just a bit of manipulation here. We cross multiply DK times the tan of 8 degrees is equal to 5. Balance again. Take away that. So DK is equal to 5 over tan of 8 degrees. And then obviously there, all that I have to do, sir, into my calculator, 5 over the tan of 8 degrees, it's going to, as they say here, to the nearest meter. If I put it in the calculator, it gives me 35,576, and we can go on. But to the nearest meter, I see Michaela, just give it to the nearest meter, round it off quickly, Michaela. You almost there. I don't want decimal. I want the next whole number. So then you're going to say, Michaela, that dk is equal to 36, right? 36. So that value there will be 36 meters because I ask you for the nearest meter. Okay. Okay, learners, it's just a pity the other two sums, you were able to do. If I just say, if SK is 8, what is DS? You're going to say, sir, come, this is not so bad. That is 36, that is 8. This is a combination of DS and SK. So we know that will be 28, right? And in the last sum, we'll work something similar to that. Okay, great teens. Thank you very much for your hard work. Michaela, Mishka, Oni, Muhmina, Esmeralda, Virgil, Casey, Dan, all of you. Rosendal, Atlantis, Bella, Perseverance. Thanks, guys, for your input. Thanks for your answers. I hope the lesson helped a bit. You have a bit of an idea, the approach of trigonometry. But remember, how will you know whether you perfect that? Put pen to paper. Please don't read maths. Do maths. All the best to you in your CAS assessments. Good afternoon.